We'll begin today's media scrums with swimming and diving head coach Mickey Wender, Stacey, and Olivia Hansson. Coach, this week have the University of Wyoming in town for a duel, but a few weeks ago got the season started also at home. Kind of give us a recap of how things went in the first meets.
It was fine. I think we're off to a slow but deliberate start to the season. Nothing flashy by design. I thought the shootout was fine. We raced hard, in particular against Utah women, and that win was really good for us. I'm mostly interested in the training process right now, the developmental process, and I think we're in a good spot. We'll learn a lot these next 2 weeks about who we are and what our capabilities are. But we're the last week in particular, we're starting to come together, starting to pick up steam. We're starting to challenge each other a little bit more in the training pool, which is always a good sign that we're ready to start racing. And we'll see.
Olivia, junior on the team, multiple time All American, kind of one of the more experienced people on the squad, and you got some wins, including an event that you haven't done as much. Talk to us a little bit about that transformation to doing a butterfly a little more than in the past.
Well, the two fly was just a chance for me to see what I could do. I don't train fly. I just went in there, wanted to see if I could score some points for the team. And I mean, I didn't really have any expectations going into that two fly. It just felt really good, and I was happy with my time. It was surprising, but it felt good.
Harry, first collegiate meet for you coming up this weekend. Had a valid excuse being on international duty. Talk to us a little bit about your college experience so far, what you're kind of looking forward to this week, your first meet as a Mav.
Yeah, it's been fun actually. Like it's been a lot more of like a family experience with a team. Usually swimming's quite an individual sport, and so being here with like this group of guys and group of girls and just the coaching staff, they've all been amazing. So felt at home really.
What do you bring back from an international trip and getting some wins recently for your country, and then of course being in the Olympics in Paris this summer? What can you bring from those experiences that help you in the college environment?
Yeah, international meets, they give you a lot of experience and it gives you a broader perspective on the sport as a whole. I mean, you're seeing people who they only race maybe once a year, maybe once every 4 years, and it shows you how competitive everybody is and how far I can really push myself if I really go for it. When you're in like a small pond and that's all you see, your expectations can be tempered. So seeing what the world has to offer, yeah, definitely pushing me to be better.
Now, Coach Wender, in your opening, you talked about there's been a little more intensity in the training pool. Just kind of explain what you're seeing out of that intensity from your team and what you're really liking about it as well.
We will be as good as, let me rephrase that. Our potential as a team is determined by how hard people are willing to race with each other in training. And so as things start to ramp up and confidence starts to build and their fitness starts to sort of take hold and the willingness to go out on a limb a little bit more often in training is the thing that will determine our potential, right? We don't have any superstars here. Harry and Olivia are very good swimmers, but for us to win a national title, for us to be in the hunt, we don't talk about that with the group very often. We need people that are willing to push the envelope every single day. If we're average, we stink. If we don't get ourselves to that next level through our preparation and through our training and through pushing and challenging and helping people see what that next step looks like and probably more importantly feels like, then that's where we have to go. So that's sort of what I'm referring to. And a lot of it's on us as the coaches in creating those matchups and making sure that we put the right people in the right place on the right days in training so that it can elevate the group, right? A rising tide raises all ships. And that's sort of what we're looking for as we've escalated the intensity of the training.
And then Olivia and Harry, for you guys going up against some pretty tough competition here in the coming weeks, what are you expecting to see out of both yourself and your teammates over these races?
So I just want to go out there and race hard, to be able to race the person next to me and out-touch them, which I do think it's like a main goal for the team. If we're going to be able to beat Wyoming, it will come down to the last yard of the race. It will be who's going to out-touch who, and I think that's just going to be our goal, to put ourselves out there and just go for it.
Can I comment on that too? Because I remember distinctly sitting at the airport reflecting on our meet at NCAA's last year. And I couldn't help but feel unbelievable gratitude and appreciation for all of our competitors, but Wyoming in particular, because they have pushed us to the brink on so many different opportunities. And if we didn't have them and a chance to line up against them, both in the dual meet and on our invite, we're not second at nationals. Our women don't know what it feels like to have everything come down to the last relay and know they still have a chance. And that experience and what Wyoming's given us, I mean, we have such respect for that program, their coach and their athletes. They had a tragedy on their team last year, a car accident that killed a swimmer. And we wore Wyoming caps at the NCAA's in the warm-up pool as a tribute to them. So we have a lot of respect for their program, and they will give us everything we can handle. And that's what we need, right? That's what we need to get ready for March.
Yeah, so for myself, and I think I can speak for the sprint group as well that I train with, there's no expectations. We have been training our asses off, and we've been pushing each other in training every day. And we're just excited to race. You know, it's like going to get on the blocks, race some of our good friends at Wyoming, and see if we can get our hand on the wall first.
Harry's new. There are expectations.
And that's to blow that out of the water, right? Yeah. I mean, Harry, the travel schedule you've been on the last couple of months, how have you been able to handle that with your body and then just coming back and staying ready to race? I mean, that's not easy.
It's a mental thing. Like, you know that you're going to be in a tough spot for several weeks, if not, months, when you're traveling, changing time zones, different food, different location, different environment, different people. But yeah, it's a mental thing. You just got to lock in, take it day by day, and try and be as rigid and consistent with the things that you can control. So, sleep, food, stay in contact with, the family and such, just keeping my mind right.
Yeah. And Olivia, I know, Coach, you want to build obviously up to March, but does the team feel like, okay, we're kind of ready to turn this thing loose here, because you're coming up on the meat of your schedule right now?
I think we're ready and excited for coming into the dual meets this weekend and next weekend to just push ourselves before our midseason and just go like beyond our limits, in the sense that like, this is going to be hard, but this is what, like, we're tough and this is what we need to do in order to put ourselves out there in the morning at nationals.
Mickey, how do you kind of balance training and setting up for a duel versus the big invitational coming up? Because it's all different.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get them prepared for each level of that?
It's a process. It's a developmental, sequential process. I think we have a good plan in terms of the way we set up our season and the training cycles that we go through. We're pretty deliberate about it. And helping them to understand what are the expectations within each of these different, cycles. So swimming is pretty unique where you can only be at your absolute very best a couple times a year. And we're aware of that. And, it's one of the reasons why we're so persistent in trying to get cuts in November for nationals, because that really opens them up to peaking at the NCAA. So we'll do a short rest for the tier invite. We'll put on tech suits. My goal is we qualify 20 people, have reliable cuts, 10 men, 10 women for the NCAAs. And I think it's a bit of a stretch goal, and I haven't told the team that, but I think it's realistic of what we can do. And then those 20 people, then all they have to do is focus on the nationals. And we're lucky right now. Our roster is it's pretty solid in terms of the rest of the RMAC, so we don't have to rest, shave, peak, taper our top people to win that meet. And so we take it all into consideration, and everything matters. But even though we might not have expectations in terms of times this weekend, there is we'll learn a lot, Patty, about who we are in terms of how hard we race. And like Olivia said, getting our hand on the wall. NCAAs is like the Wild West in terms of going hunting for points. And you learn how to do that through the course of a hard college season. Harry's going to learn how to do that by getting up and racing 4 times on Saturday. And then the next week, getting up and racing 4 times again at Denver the next week. And then 4.5 days of prelims and finals sessions of just racing. He's going to learn a lot. It's a different world. And I do think everything that he's been through in terms of having to manage the travel and the racing, that helps, because Division II swimming, it's the longest collegiate swim meet out there. It's 4.5 days, it's 9 sessions, it's grueling. And I need him and all our sprinters at their very best on Saturday night, session number 9 for the 4x100 free relay. There's nothing easy about it.
Harry, what are you most excited about for your first collegiate meet this weekend? Or have you thought about it yet?
A little bit. I mean, I never really experienced a dual meet before, so just seeing how all that's going to be, the getting the whole team involved. Again, it's just like I'm used to being a very individual sport, just me. So having a whole team behind you, I think that'll push me to greater heights.
All right, we like to end all of these with a question of the week to kind of get away from sports. Given that Halloween's coming up, we want to know what each of your favorite candy is.
Favorite candy? I'll let you guys go first on this one.
Reese's peanut butter cups on board.
I like any type of chocolate, but I do miss my Swedish chocolate.
It's not really a candy. I'm more of a pastry guy. So any sort of patisserie, yeah.
Do you know what Halloween is?
But like, we just don't go for that. I don't give up pastry kind of guy. So yeah, give me a pastry. I'll take that instead.
He's gonna go trick or treating at the bakery.
Facts.
All right, thank you.
All right. Swedish chocolate.
Yes, I miss it.